So you need high dexterity, constitution, intelligence, and wisdom. You need 4 good stats.
Stop playing your monsters like NPC bowling games. They're violent professionals with survival instincts. Focus fire, hit and run, take cover, retreat.
I just played my first ever session of Into the Odd, and let me tell you, this game rips.
And if they don't take them seriously, the players will go down.
I have dark vision.
Oh yeah! Then in front of you sits an altar.
Hey you adventurers, my name is Derek. I've been scouting the internet, especially TikTok, for some interesting videos in the TTRPG scene, and I've got some for you today. There's a little bit of everything. Without further ado, let's go with this one.
You enter a pitch black cave.
Aha! I have dark vision.
Oh yeah! Then in front of you sits an altar. On it are 2 apples, and below it an inscription saying, "Eat the green, and the truth you shall gleam, but eat the red, and you shall be dead."
Nah!
I mean, it's fun and all, but I always think it's just like a battle of concepts. So as a GM, you have darkness. As a counterattack, the players come up with this, like, hey, I have dark vision. So now here the GM comes up with something to counteract the dark vision, which is just a puzzle with colors. And of course, dark vision doesn't work for that because you only see in scales of gray. And then I guess if you were creative enough, you could come up with a way in which the characters circumvents this. Why do that? Well, this is why in my games, no one has dark vision. There's no dark vision. Darkness is darkness, and no player character can see in the dark, which makes managing light sources ever more important. Let's see what the comments say. There's this one that says, I still know which one is green and which one is red. And I mean, this is gray, and I guess you could say the dark one is the red one. But then the next comment implies that depending on the lighting, what lighting, if it's dark, it could be either, I don't know, I'm not a colorist. There's this one that says if the cave is pitch black, that means no light whatsoever. Dark vision only works if there's still light. This person is wrong, as they tell them in the comments, because I guess that would be what we used to call low light vision in 3rd edition, but that doesn't exist anymore. Now everyone has dark vision.
You don't want a multiclassing combo, you want to suffer, my friend. Alright, D&D multiclassing combos. Blade Singer Wizard, Fey Wanderer Ranger.
I'ma stop you right there. I know where this video is probably going. It's going to be an uber crazy D&D 5e multi-class combo with optimized feats and optimized spells and everything. And it's like a masterclass in min-maxing. And I love watching these videos, but I would not love to find a character like this in a game. Let's see what this is about.
This is hard. This is a hard one. Ranger needs dexterity and wisdom. Blade Singer needs dexterity and intelligence. Both of them need constitution because of course you do. So you need high dexterity, constitution, intelligence, and wisdom. You need 4 good stats. That doesn't happen in 5th edition unless you're rolling dice and get incredibly lucky. Blade Singer Wizard depends super heavily on intelligence to make Blade Song impactful, and then you're using intelligence for your spells, and you're probably still using dexterity for your attacks. Fey Wanderer Ranger really needs wisdom. Like, all of the subclass features depend heavily on wisdom, to the point that the best build for Fey Wanderer Ranger is a Shillelagh build. So it makes sense that you would use Shillelagh offensively here and, build with wisdom for your attacks, but that means that you're not increasing your dexterity, which means that your AC.
Did he just call that spell Shillelagh? Shillelagh. Man, I mean, maybe it's because we're Mexican, and I don't know what I don't know where that word comes from. We always used to call it Shillelagh, because that's kind of like how it's written. I don't know where this video is going. I'm gonna spare you. But do follow this guy, rpgbot.net. I love his channel. Then there's this comment by Axel, which is a question. Which fighter in D&D history is your favorite, and what is your favorite warrior fighter in other TTRPGs? I would love to hear your comments on this, everyone who wants to share. He shares that probably his favorite is the one in D&D 5e because of the subclasses. If not, then the fighter in the game Dungeon Crawl Classics by Goodman Games. I agreed that for me it's also my favorite, the one in Dungeon Crawl Classics. Please leave a comment if you would like to see yours featured in the next video.
If you test me, you will fail.
If you're just listening, it just says, when the rules lawyer tries to argue with the GM about a monster stat block that the GM altered. And it always reminds me about that blog post from long ago that says, if you're not sure what stat block to use, just use the black bear. It's a CR2 creature, use the black bear for everything. Then here in the comments, one person says, if they truly knew the rules so well, they would know they're more like guidelines anyway. And yeah, that's kind of like the truth. And if you have veteran players who have seen it all, you pretty much never use the stat blocks as they are. You always make changes because even a veteran player deserves to be surprised from time to time. I guess that makes sense.
Oh no, my players are steamrolling my combats.
My experience with D&D 5e, you make a better and faster game if you increase the damage the monsters do and decrease the hit points that the monsters have. You do those two things and things are scarier, more lethal, but battles are also faster, much faster. Then we have this comment here that says, you've inspired me. 3 Tarasques next session it is. Yeah, I mean, just like I said, just more damage. Your players aren't fighting your monsters. They're fighting you. You don't lose. This comment by Will Roop says, 2 styles of fight. Filler fights that should be steamrolled to make the players feel confident. That's good. And a boss fight with tricks to remind them that you are the DM and in control. And I guess he means remind the characters that there are also situations in combat that can be lethal. Reminders that the GM is in control. Like if you have that intention, it probably comes out wrong when you put it into play. I think that at least. This content is sponsored by you. Elven Tower Adventures is more than maps, stories, and quests. We're a fellowship. Your voice matters and we want to create the best content for you. The best way to support our work is by subscribing to our Patreon page. Who knows? Perhaps our Dungeon Vault magazine could become your every game's companion. Or maybe our hundreds of maps and adventures are just what your imagination needs to take your games to the next level. Don't just play D&D, conquer it. For this last featured comment, a user named Purple Jeweler says, I never thought chess YouTube and D&D YouTube would cause me issues, but here I am thinking this read Grandmaster Advice, and that's because the title for this video was GM Advice and Jokes for Dungeons & Dragons, but he thought it was GM as in a chess Grandmaster. We added some comments below about how we could make a chess-like encounter, probably something like what you see in the Harry Potter movie, the first one, where they have this chess battle, but they are writing the chess pieces. I don't know how that could be translated into D&D, but it would be an amazing encounter idea. Okay, this next video is about a very slimmed down version of D&D called Into the Odd, and I put it here because I just bought this book, Into the Odd, and I've been reading this game and taking a lot of inspiration. Maybe you've seen that I also started another series of videos on this channel where I will be documenting my progress in creating a TTRPG system, and I'm taking some inspiration from this. I don't know if it's gonna be exactly like this, but let's see how he explains how the game works.
I just played my first ever session of Into the Odd, and let me tell you, this game rips. I had never tried an OSR type game before, but it was a lot of fun, and I really loved creating random characters with this game. I think I created 3 or 4, and the coolest part about it is the starter package table. I think this is a great way to deal with the swings and misses of random character generation, because in this game you're rolling 3d6 for each of your 3 core stats and 1d6 for your HP. So you could have anywhere between 3 and 18 for any stat and 1 and 6 for your HP, but the starter package table helps to balance the scales between players. So for instance, if I started with 1 hit point and my highest stat was between 3 or 9, so basically I rolled like shit, I get a sword, a pistol, I get modern armor, and the ability to sense nearby unearthly beings. So basically I am kitted out even though my stats suck. Whereas if I had 6 hit points and my top score was an 18, so basically I rolled like a fucking madman, I get a mace, I get a pigeon, and I am disfigured. So basically, the more powerful, the better you roll, the less stuff you get to start, and the worse you roll, the cooler stuff you get. So everyone is getting a great balanced experience in very different ways. And you're going to need to play different types of characters depending on where you land on that table.
And I thought that was a great description of one of the best aspects of Into the Odd. I don't know if I'm gonna do it like that when I do make my game. At the moment, I am leaning more towards a skill-based system, more akin to the Call of Cthulhu 7th edition or Mouse Guard or the Burning Wheel games. At least those are the ones I know that have a skill system similar to what I'm envisioning. Then in the comments of this same video, there are some people recommending other OSR games which are actually pretty good too. Here, Mr. Kitten Mittens is recommending Cairn. That one is pretty good too. Then this person, Christian L2CA, he says, have you tried Death in Space, which is more on the sci-fi end of the TTRPG games, but it's also a pretty good one. There's also this comment by one of you in one of my previous TikTok reaction videos by Motherboy D9R. It's nice seeing creators put credit in the video. It's all too common to see ones where they leave it out. Much respect and interesting video. Yeah, the first video I did about this TikTok reaction thing, I didn't include the credit for the TikTok accounts, but I thought that was not cool, especially since I am not criticizing it. I'm just sharing my love for the hobby, so I thought it was appropriate to include the credits. Remember to like this video, share it, hit the subscribe button. We'll take all the engagement we can get. This is a very small channel. Thank you very much.
How to scare a D&D player. Yeah, so I'd like to open the chest. Are you sure? Nope, never mind. Time to go. The end.
Or my favorite question in situations like this, which is, which hand do you use to open the chest? What hand do you use to open that door? Instant regret and doubt. Okay, here's another video where they're talking about how to make combat more serious for the players. It's kind of a dick move, but maybe it's worth hearing what he has to say.
If you are DMing a D&D game right now, I'm going to take a guess that your players probably don't take the combat all that seriously. Here's a trick to fix that. Okay, great. Honey Viper's turn. So all you need to do is pick the player with the lowest health total and immediately try and down them in the first round of combat. But one moment, she's there. The next moment, she's right in Gimble's face. This will show your players that the enemies are dangerous, and if they don't take them seriously, the players will go down. She's going to make her first one on Gimble's. That is a 15.
Oh, that'll hit, yeah.
And she's going to do 10 damage.
I'm down.
He does have a point that it makes sense that enemies who are intelligent will make smart decisions in combat. So if they see a character who has less armor or who looks a little scrawny, doesn't look that much of a threat, just to off them at the beginning of the battle. That would also make sense for creatures which are not intelligent, but maybe more instinct-based, like wolves, for example. Wolves might also prioritize someone who looks weak. There's this comment that says, by the initiative in. Not just that the enemies are dangerous, but that they are smart, which is pretty much what I just said. And then Connor Lutgeno says, nearly every combat one of us is almost one shot, so during combat it's safe to say I am alert. Well, I guess that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. My name is Derek, and I'll see you in the next episode where we will be reviewing some other TTRPG themed videos on TikTok or wherever I can find them in the internet. See you in the next one.